Hello, Cryptonauts, and welcome back to another episode of Cryptocurrency Chat. I'm your host, Jake Chabarelli, and everybody else seems to be out. I know John was going to be on vacation, so it's fine. We're starting here with episode 501 on this Sunday, March 26th of 2023. So I hope you guys got a chance to check out episode 500. It was really just kind of a wash. We just talked about whatever we wanted to, but it was still pretty fun. Let's get into the news. This is Sunday. We're going to talk about this week in crypto Twitter. Bitcoin Miami mocked by maxis. Bitcoiners embrace anti-Bitcoin art. Although the upward price action this week was slower than last, many of crypto's leading coins still posted notable gains over the last 7 days, after Credit Suisse became the latest catastrophe to roll the banking world. Driving investors towards riskier assets as potential hedge against the contagion. They weren't the only ones piling into the blockchain access. Let me pop this up and make it a little bit bigger so y'all can see it on mobile. On Tuesday, it emerged that PlayStation manufacturer and electronics giant Sony for cross-platform NFT trading, according to Twitch streamer Bryson. And here's his tweet. "This is huge. Sony recently filed a patent for cross-platform NFTs trading framework for video games." Also that day, a screenshot of an abusive email by BitBoy, alias Brian Armstrong, made the rounds. BitBoy is one of several YouTube influencers who were collectively slapped with a $1 billion lawsuit last week for allegedly advertising unregistered securities to their viewers in the form of yield-bearing accounts offered by FTX. And here's a tweet from DB, Tier 10K. Lawyers behind FTX class action say they are being harassed by BitBoy. Sounds Trumpian. In the U.S. this week, 3 prominent Republicans rebelled against the idea of a central bank digital currency, CBDC, essentially a dollar-pegged cryptocurrency that would be issued by the Federal Reserve. Warren Davidson, a Republican representative for Ohio's 8th Congressional District, tweeted his protest on Tuesday, arguing that CBDCs were an Orwellian payment system. It's a quote. He attached a letter he wrote to his colleagues urging them to reject. And here's a quick tweet from him. Only Congress could lawfully establish a CBDC in the United States, but that hasn't stopped CBDC advocates from working to normalize the Orwellian payment system. Today I sent a letter to my colleagues, and here's that letter. Ethereum scaling solution Arbitrum handled more transactions than the Ethereum mainnet that day. And here's a tweet from Dynamo Patrick. Arbitrum daily transactions hit a new all-time high of 1.3 million yesterday. In comparison, Ethereum mainnet had 1.08 million transactions, so slightly less. Economics and finance analyst John Paul Koenig took issue with Coinbase's claims that it's fully compliant. And here's JP Koenig saying, Coinbase, quote, give us an actual path to register and we will register, end quote. The claim is about to be tested. In 2021, Canadian securities regulators gave all crypto exchanges a clear registration path. The final deadline to register is tomorrow. Coinbase still hasn't registered. He wasn't alone this week. Payments and digital money regulation compliance expert Simon Lieveveld, I hope I pronounced that correctly, wrote in a multi-tweet thread that Coinbase has pulled similarly evasive maneuvers with Netherlands regulators. Here's Simon in his commentary on Twitter. Sorry to I am Paul Gruel. You are gaslighting in the U.S. and in the Netherlands. Tell us the rules and we will follow them. Give us an actual pass to register and we will register. Do you dare look in the mirror? El Salvador's Bitcoin maxi authoritarian president Nayib Bukele tweeted an announcement of some vital incoming legislation. Binance CEO Changpeng Zhao, or CZ, applauded him. Next week, I'll be sending a bill to Congress to eliminate all taxes, income, property, capital gains, and import tariffs on technology innovations such as software programming, coding, apps, and AI development, as well as computing and communications hardware manufacturing. CZ is applauding that tweet. The banking crisis has had a pronounced effect on Bitcoin's liquidity, plunging it to 10-month lows as market makers pull their liquidity off exchanges after two of the biggest fiat to crypto on-ramps, Silvergate's SEN and Signature Bank's Signet, suffered as a result of the banks that were attached to getting shut down. Bitcoin maxi Dylan Leclerc made light of the situation in his tweet. He says, okay, hear me out. The Bitcoin order book is so illiquid that if we all dig through our couch cushions and punt our spare change, we can send $1 million in one candle. Who's with me? Footage of Do Kwon leaving court in handcuffs made the rounds on Friday. Do Kwon is the founder of CEO of Terraform Labs. He created the disastrous so-called algorithmic stablecoin UST, which was pegged to the US dollar through smart contracts that maintained value by burning Terra's other cryptocurrency, Luna. UST went into a death spiral last May, rapidly depleting the Terra ecosystem of capital and spawning a wave of high-profile crypto company bankruptcies throughout the rest of the year. Here's a quote or tweet from Isabel Hunter. Exclusive footage, Do Kwon and Han Chengjun leaving a Montenegrin court in handcuffs. So if we can play that without the audio. Alright, no audio. Play. Make it bigger so y'all can see it. Oh yeah, buffer for me, that's perfect. Just do that. Alright, that's enough. Also on Friday, crypto bank Custodia shared a message to the Federal Reserve. Custodia has applied to be overseen by U.S. regulators, but has been repeatedly passed over. The recent collapse and subsequent bailout of several crypto-friendly banks that proved to be insolvent has added insult to injury to Custodia, which claims to be fully solvent and compliant. And I'm not going to read this, but here's their tweet if you want to check it out. NBC reporter Ben Collins highlighted the fact that an account linked to California Congressman Grace Napolitano got totally overrun by crypto scan bots. And Ben Collins says the account for sitting California Congressperson Grace Napolitano got hacked by crypto scanners 3 days ago. Nobody's bothered to fix it. And he also said normal replies of a healthy bot-free website. For examples here. The skull of Satoshi, Greenpeace highlighted the Bitcoin network's relatively high electricity consumption in a new campaign that features a cool piece of art by artist Von Wong called Skull of Satoshi, and Greenpeace tweets, some climate activists think Bitcoin is just fake internet money they can safely ignore. The truth? Bitcoin is causing dangerous amounts of real-world pollution from its ravenous consumption of fossil fuels, all due to its outdated code. The solution? Change the code. And here's a picture of that. Bitcoiners ended up loving the image. One of them proposed that it was worth at least one Bitcoin. Von Wong himself claimed he had paid less than a fraction of that. And here's a rare passenger on Twitter saying, artist makes anti-Bitcoin piece, offered 1 Bitcoin for it. Artist wasn't even paid that much. Bitcoiners offering tips if artist gets a wallet. You can't make this up. They mocked it vigorously. He later tweeted he was glad to be involved in the conversation, that Bitcoin environmentalists were adding depth to his understanding of the topic. Von Wong says, avalanche of DMs and the environmental Bitcoin crew giving me a lot of hope. Need some time to reply, reflect, summarize, etc. Excited about discussion. Von Wong later tweeted that transitioning the network to less consumptive but more centralized proof-of-stake system like Ethereum went against the ethos of Bitcoin. However, a more energy-efficient update for the world's favorite cryptocurrency is certainly needed. Von Wong says again, totally agree with you, POS will never work for Bitcoin, it goes against the ethos. And that's exactly what we read earlier. Maxi snub Bitcoin Miami. Bitcoin maxis this week were up in arms about the fact that Ordinals, a protocol which brings non-fungible digital tokens, or other assets, to Bitcoin, would be making an appearance at the Bitcoin Miami conference. Here's Francis of bullbitcoin.com on Twitter. I will never attend a conference that promotes shitcoins. Definitely not going to Bitcoin Miami. What an embarrassment. Some of the less zealous Bitcoin fans took this as the best form of promotion for the conference. Trevor Bitcoin says, The Laser Eye cult is exiling themselves to saying that they won't go to the Bitcoin magazine Miami because of ordinals. Just when I thought ordinals couldn't make my life any better. Ha! It's the gift that keeps on giving. This year, Bitcoin Miami might be the best Bitcoin event in history. And then Udi Wertheim says, I wasn't planning to go at Bitcoin Miami this year. Last year, it became a ridiculous religious ceremony infested with the most obnoxious cult leaders. But now the Laser Eyes are refusing to go. I'll consider it. The Bitcoin community is healing. Let's do a little magic. And that's all we got for This Week in Crypto Twitter. Now that John is here, maybe he can do coins for us. Right, John? Can you hear me, John? All right. Continuing on with This Week in Coins, since John is unavailable. This Week in Coins, investors rehash Bitcoin's safe haven status as DeSantis takes aim at CBDCs. Investors rush to leading cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. Politicians in the United States took aim at incoming CBDC plans. Last week's crypto mega rally slowed this week. Still, many leading coins still posted double-digit gains over the last 7 days. The upward price action was escalated by crisis-hitting Credit Suisse. Last Wednesday needed about $54 billion loan from the Swiss National Bank to shore up liquidity. By Sunday, there was an announcement that domestic rival UBS agreed to buy the ailing bank in an emergency deal worth over $3 billion. The banking news continued to drive investors toward risk-on banking alternatives like crypto. Bitcoin soared amid the banking chaos, jumping from just over $20,000 in March of the 10th to trading at roughly $27,500 at the time of this writing. Ethereum's growth was a similar story over the same period, rising roughly $1,400 at today's price to $1,740 per CoinGecko. Several prominent figures in the industry pointed to Credit Suisse collapse along the collapses of other crypto-friendly banks like Silvergate, Signature, and Silicon Valley Bank, all of which happened this month to publicly shill Bitcoin and rehash its potential role as a safe haven asset. Another development on Bitcoin this week was that the news of Solana's largest NFT marketplace, Magic Eden, added support for ordinals, a protocol that enables crypto-savvy NFT fans to mint non-fungible assets on Bitcoin without the need for high-functionality smart contracts like those of Ethereum or Solana. On Friday, the number of Bitcoin ordinals passed 550,000 thanks to the proliferation of the Bored Ape Yacht Club copies on the network. Another notable positive price movements this week include XRP, which rallied 21% to almost 50 cents. That's 21% to $1.46, 0.046. And Litecoin jumped 6.4% to $91. The only three top cryptocurrency posted significant losses this week were OKB token dropped 16%, Cosmos Hub fell 16% as well to $11.18, and Toncoin sank 14% to $2.11. In the U.S. this week, several prominent Republicans rebelled against the idea of a central bank digital currency, essentially a dollar pegged to the cryptocurrency that would be issued by a Federal Reserve. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis went first. On Monday, he proposed an outright ban on CBDCs in his state. He announced that the measure from a podium where the words Big Brother's Digital Dollar could be read in the background. He justified the measure by saying what a central bank digital currency is all about surveilling Americans and controlling Americans. You're opening up a major can of worms and you're handing a central bank huge amounts of power, and they will use that power. Warren Davidson, a Republican representative for Ohio's 8th Congressional District, on Tuesday tweeted that CBDCs were an Orwellian payment system and shared a letter, which he wrote, which I read earlier. By Wednesday, Ted Cruz, the junior senator from Texas, aped DeSantis and proposed his own legislative pushback against the idea of a Fed cryptocurrency. That same day, the White House released this year's economic report of the president. In several places, the report conveyed Washington's skeptical stance on crypto, calling it a highly volatile and subject to fraud, and saying it frequently reflects an ignorance of basic economic principles that have been learned in economics and finance over the centuries. Finally, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, thinly veiled crypto crackdown continued apace on Wednesday when the agency hit Coinbase with a Wells notice. alleging that the exchange staking products constitute unregistered securities. You're screwed, Coinbase. And with that, we're going to get on some regular news here, outside of the readable news. You with me, John?
Yep, I'm here.
So we have an article about Cathie Wood on about ordinals on Bored Ape Yacht, which we kind of covered in the Twitter news, and then Do Kwon being arrested, which was also covered a little bit, and then Venezuela regulator shuts down cryptocurrency exchanges. So I thought, did you have a chance to pull those up?
I'm pulling them up right now, but we can start with Cathie Woods.
Yeah, Cathie Wood buys the dip on Coinbase stock 2 days after dumping it. Now, this is not explicitly her buying Bitcoin. This is her buying coin, C-O-I-N, the stock value. So she dumped $13 million worth of coin and then bought $18 million worth of coin at the dump price that went down. So,
Smart move to me.
oh yeah, no, it's a very smart move, but it's not something a big corporation typically does. They don't typically, unless it's more of a planned thing. You know, she saw the writing on the wall and said, "Oh, well, they were already planning on selling the 13 million, so they did that." But then when the price dumped after the Fed made their announcement, they're like, "Oh, we should definitely buy." So, quite a good chunk. I mean, 13 million.
So are they considering insider trading or what?
No, I don't think so. I don't think that's insider trading at all. I mean, so Cathie Wood's company is separate, right? So.
Well, I guess insider trading would be for Coinbase, right?
Right. No, she works for ARK, her company ARK.
That's what the SEC. Yeah. She works for ARK, but Coinbase, I think they were hit with by the SEC.
Yeah, and they just bought on the news, right? The news knocked Coinbase's value down, and it's funny because they sold. I don't know if they intended to rebuy immediately, but I think they realized that they could with that drop.
That's a phenomenal move.
Yep, it's a good move, and they put more money. They put $5 million more in than they did when they took out. So it says here, Wood dumped 160,000 shares on in the firm Tuesday for about $13 million in its first coin sale of the year, taking profits after crypto markets, and then of course turned right around 2 days later after the news hit Coin, that is Coinbase, and bought 320,000 shares. Or actually, pardon me. Wood and ARK bought 320,000 shares of Block, Jack Dorsey's Block, estimated $20 million. So I apologize. They didn't buy Coin. They sold Coin and bought Block.
Okay.
Block has denied accusations, said it would work with the SEC to potentially make legal action against Hindenburg Research. Anyways, so that's a separate thing. Wood herself is very bullish on Bitcoin, giving it a long-term price target of $1 million while believing it can help hedge against the inflation of world collapsing currencies. So most of what I've talked about so far has been these first two articles, which are always exceptionally long. So I don't mind moving on from this because I could kind of cover the gist of what was going on here with Cathie Wood.
Ordinals.
So this was covered briefly in Twitter. Ordinal fees spike as the Bored Ape Yacht Club clones bloom on Bitcoin. So the daily transaction fees. Go ahead, sorry.
Minting on the Bitcoin ordinal subscription reached an all-time high on Thursday of 9.28 Bitcoin, around $257. $257,160, according to Dune Analytics. The surge is largely attributed to Bitcoin 8, a variation of the popular Bored Ape Yacht Club. Yeah, you know what's crazy?
Mm-hmm.
Is that I always forget who owns a Bored Ape company.
A company that owns Bored Apes? I'm not sure.
Yuga Labs.
You're the one that they created it. Okay.
Yeah. So give me a second here. Hold on. So Yuga Labs owns the IP rights to all the apes, right? To all their properties, intellectual property, right?
Well, not all the apes have been put onto ordinals though. Just only like 8,500 of them.
Well, pretty much. I don't know when this article was written. Well, I guess.
No, it says the Bitcoin apes themselves says 8,000 Bitcoin apes have now been inscribed.
Yeah, all of them will be inscribed, and this is all by Degens, pretty much, not by Yuga Labs. Yuga Labs is still holding steady and saying that no, this is not allowed. This is not allowed. Yeah, it's not real. Mm-hmm. But the community don't care. They're doing this, and so what they're saying what the degens are saying is that they're doing this to protect the apes, just in
Yeah.
case if there's ever a shutdown of IPFS or any kind of mumbo jumbo that goes on with Ethereum. At least the apes can be forever inscribed on the Bitcoin blockchain. So that was pretty cool that they done that, and I think they invested, or they what they said was it was technically free to put these on there, aside from the transaction fees.
Right.
Transaction fees I think accumulated to inscribe all like 10,000 was like 1.2 million.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
among the thousands of degens out there that were inscribing these apes, yeah, 1.2 million dollars later, that's what they have. I'm not sure if that's what the article's talking about. Let's look into
Yep.
Leonidas. Yes,
Yep.
I follow that guy.
Yep. Over $1 million will have been spent inscribing the 10,000 exact copies of the Bored Ape Yacht Club onto Bitcoin.
Is that what it says here?
Yeah, it says it further down in the article. So, but it's interesting to see
Yeah.
that we're almost up to half a terabyte Bitcoin
Yep.
itself.
Yep. Yep. That was I think what was it? It was like 3 terabytes worth of data for the 10,000 degens or
Oh
apes.
no, 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 no! It's only 1 gig. Leonidas said it explicitly. Says Leonidas said that over 1 gig is now images of monkeys.
Okay.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
still pretty significant if you think about it, but that's 0.02% or 0.2% of all the data space of Bitcoin.
Yep. And that's just one project, and there's many projects coming on board. That's it's a thing, man. People didn't think it was gonna be a thing. It's a thing. I just heard you reading about the what was it the conference was it the over in
Oh yeah,
Miami, right?
Miami has a Bitcoin conference. Yep.
Yeah, people are gonna be going there, and I was talking about that earlier. I was in a space earlier for about 5 hours talking to people, and there was a Bitcoiner that jumped on there, really nice guy, and I told him, you know what, the thing about Bitcoiners, true Bitcoiners, is that they're very very toxic and very negative. You know, they're not really open minded. You know, and so it's nice that even though I haven't inscribed anything, I'm not really for it because of how much data is being inscribed onto the blockchain. And that means I'm holding this data on here, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm on my computer.
Yep.
That's the only thing that I don't like about it. But I support the fact that it's decentralized. People can do whatever they want. It's great. That's what I support. Um, and he's more open to ordinals as well, and he's starting to open up a little bit more from being a pure Bitcoinist or Bitcoiner to now with ordinals and subscriptions and other projects coming online with Bitcoin. He's starting to be more understanding that this is good overall for the economy of Bitcoin, which is great. I like that. So yeah, this is gonna be one of those things that's really gonna open up the doors to thousands and thousands of people. There's going to be a big surge at the Bitcoin conference in Miami this year because of this. It'd be really cool. Same thing with Nostr. I
Yeah,
was watching
Nostr.
Nostrika. What was it last week? Last week, right? Like, yeah, Sunday through Tuesday. Nostrika. That thing is, dude. You guys don't even know what's coming down the pipeline with
Mm.
Nostrika with Nostr. The Nostr protocol is just gonna be phenomenal, man. That's Web 5 right there, man. You guys talking about Web 2, Web 3?
Web three,
Nah,
Web
man.
five.
Web
Yes.
five all
We're
day, every
playing
day.
5D chess now.
Politics says, how are they minting them? Ordinals, BTC trying to be like Raven, but not keeping up. Ha ha ha. Well, the thing with Ordinals is that there's thousands of people inscribing stuff on the blockchain. Unlike with Raven Coin, there's nobody out there really inscribing it or creating NFTs. So yeah, I like Raven Coin, but there's not much transactions going on to the network. So once there's people Polytech, once there's people jumping onto Ravencoin and putting stuff on, then yeah, I'll be just like you. But for the time being, Ordinals is number one. You know, inscriptions. Everybody's all over inscriptions. You know, there's not a Ravencoin convention because oh look at this, we can do this on Ravencoin. No, no, dude. There's going to be an Ordinals. There's going to be an inscription conference. You know, it's pretty much going to take over the Bitcoin conference. You know, you don't see that every day. Right. So yeah, Leonidas. If you guys don't follow Leonidas on Twitter, man, definitely follow him. He's a great guy, especially if you guys want to learn about Bitcoin and inscriptions. He's always up to date on that stuff.
Right, moving on to the arrest of Do Kwon.
Yes,
Do Kwon
dude.
arrested
I was
in
on Twitter.
Montenegro.
I, w- I was just swiping through Twitter and checking things out, and I saw the video, and I was like, wait. And the video didn't even say like it was Do Kwon,
Yeah, they're
but I
not
knew
100%
instantly.
sure it's him, but yeah.
Oh, dude, it's gotta be. It's gotta be.
Yeah, but it's like, yeah,
It's
why isn't he in South Korea if he's not afraid of being arrested? He even said it before he disappeared. He's like, I'm fine, nothing's bad, and then poof, 6 months he's gone. So
yeah.
yeah, they're gonna. I don't know if they're in the process of extraditing him, but he's not. South Korean authorities had previously issued Terra's co-founder and CEO arrest warrant last September. So yeah, it's been 6 months. In the airport, let's say Thursday at airport in Montenegro's capital of Podgorica, according to the country minister of interior. The Montenegrin police have detained a person suspected of being one of the most wanted fugitives, South Korea's citizen Do Kwon, co-founder and CEO. Yeah, we know who he is. So yeah, they had the video, and I did play a little bit of it earlier. The arrest comes almost a year after the collapse of Terra, and I think they arrested somebody else in conjunction with this. I can't remember who that person was. It was interesting to see that the price of Terra's Luna, not like it was worth very much anyways at this point, did sink. About 10 cents in just the hour after the announcement. But yeah, I don't. It's good that they catch him, but I mean, what are they going to do? I mean, does he still have billions that they can get back from him?
I doubt it.
I was under the impression that he had something like 3 to 4 billion in cash, but that's not going to be enough to pay all the debts back. So, it's
alleged that Terraform and Do Kwon failed to provide the public with full, fair, and truthful disclosure as required for the host of the crypto asset securities, most notably for Luna and Terra USD, said SEC Chair Gary Gensler. We also alleged that they committed fraud by repeating false and misleading statements to build trust before causing devastating losses for investors.
Oh, that's what it was. It was the relation. The relation thought was Justin Sun and Do Kwon. Both of these founders of fairly large things. Now, granted, Tron, or Tronix, which is Justin Sun's project, he's being indicted on, or at least accused, on having what was it? Paid celebrities and told them not to say that they were paid to shill Tron. I actually like the Tron project.
Yeah.
I'm not deep into it, but I definitely have some Tron, and I've actually liked the project itself in general. But it just bugs me. I mean, I get it. That there's these people who want to promote their project. I understand that, but you gotta take legal routes.
Yeah, I think with with Justin Sun, I think it's gonna be different compared to Do Kwon.
No. Tron hasn't collapsed and taken all the billions with it, so it's a different situation. I'm just saying they're both in trouble.
Also, Justin Sun stepped down from that position with Tron.
Right.
He's no longer leading it.
Right.
He stepped down years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And he took a political position with one of the, I think, what was it, Bohemian Islands? I forgot what it was. He took a like an advisor position. Let me see. I have to look it up.
Okay.
Justin Sun politics, maybe I search that. Becomes WTO ambassador. Justin Sun is undoubtedly the most popular. Okay, let's see.
So he's
World
a
Trade Organization.
World Trade Organization.
Yeah, is an ambassador or Grenada. That's what it was.
Okay.
Wow. That's right, and this was a couple of years back. 2000. That's 21. It had to be longer than that, I think. Maybe 21. Yeah, actually, that's already. Yeah, it's a while ago.
Mm-hmm. 2 years, ish.
Yeah, but I think I'm kind of curious. Having a political chair, like in that state, having connections. I wonder how much that's gonna really. But then again, SPF pretty much had a lot of political connections as well.
Yep.
And so maybe that won't help them.
Yeah, it could still. I mean, I hate to say this, but there's no honor among thieves or politicians. Anyways, last article involves Venezuela. Venezuela's regulator shuts down some cryptocurrency exchanges and mining farms. It's kind of weird. There's a little disclaimer here at the very top. The editor's note says this article has been updated to include a rebuttal from the CEO of CryptoBuyer. That's one of the companies, the mining companies, denying rumors of the exchange's closures, despite CryptoBuyer tweeting earlier about the closures. as well as an update from Asana on the states where mining farms have been closed. And basically, it's that not every single province within Venezuela has closed down their cryptocurrency mining operations, but some of them have been closed. And CryptoBuyer was just trying to clarify that what they had closed down was not their mining operations, nor was their exchange closed down. Just some other minor issues were closed down. It's kind of like they announced a big, hey, things are getting crushed here, and then they kind of sort of half retracted it later after they apparently got more press than they were expecting.
I was having a conversation last week with a Venezolano and talking about crypto over there and how in politics, and saying that the biggest issue is that the local government is really being a throttle a not allowing companies to come in and just build, you know, considering that this is one of the countries where you can come in and basically mine for free
Mm-hmm.
because electricity is virtually free there.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make sense that to open the doors and just have companies come in, pay the taxes. It helps the economy, and in return, these miners get to mine for free, and make their profits. Dude, what the hell? It makes sense, And on top of that, these companies have dedicated engineers that know how to squeeze the most energy per profit, right? So
Mm-hmm.
they understand. It's not
Efficiency.
just they're gonna go in and just create a bunch of coal factories, which
Right.
everybody believes. Yeah, Bitcoin mining farm it's horrible. It's horrible for the economy. No, these people, the in current times, there's a lot of companies out there that are looking for the most uh, bang for buck. They're trying to squeeze out, renewable energies as much as
Right.
possible,
Right.
using hydroelectricity, using solar, using wind power. So having these infrastructures being built not by the government. Guess what? Private companies are coming in building these, and on top of that, this energy can also be redistributed to the local cities. It's beautiful, man. Why
Mm-hmm.
not? Why not take it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes you can't explain logic to governmental officials, as per the TikTok grilling of the CEO. Doesn't seem like it's about. I don't think it doesn't feel all right. The logic is askew, I should say. There is logic of what's happening in the
Oh,
TikTok,
and he
hearings.
said the guy that I was talking to last week. He said the petrol was a bunch of. It was the worst thing ever. It was horrible. It was just as bad as was it Jesus. Um,
Describe it.
the new CBDC that came out in
Was it Nigeria?
Nigeria. Was it Nigeria?
Yeah.
Okay, so in Nigeria, you know how everybody kind of just went against it. That's
Mm-hmm.
pretty much how it was with the petrol. People were not ready for it. They were like, "Dude, this is stupid. Like, you can't do anything. There's no companies out there that accept it. What are you gonna do with it? You couldn't do anything with it. So it just went down. It went instantly down in value because there was no infrastructure built for it. He said it was retarded.
Right. Yep. Can't teach an old dog new tricks. Well, that's quick news for this Sunday, March 26th, episode 501. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I'm going to flip over here to CoinTree. And if you guys would like to donate, we have lots of different ways for you to do that. You can also check us out on Patreon. We've got lots of content on Patreon. PayPal, Twitch, Spotify, YouTube, Odyssey, Discord. Always jump in our Discord, guys. Come in and join us. We've lots of stuff to do in there. The C3 Media Economy. C3 Media tokens you can pick up, and there's things you can buy with that token. I mean, it's not technically a crypto, but it's an asset. And you can check out the news. There's lots of things to do in our Discord channel. There's lots of people in here all the time. Tons of people, constantly. So come join us, Discord, or maybe Live Spaces with John on Twitter. Check out our website. With that, as we do at the end of every single show, starting our next 500 episodes to the push for 1,000. Stack sats and hodl.
Hodl.
Adios.
Adios.